Welcome to Broadway, Bleachers, and Beyond with your host, Leanna Butte with WIR Radios. Hope you're having a great afternoon. New York is where the drama never stops. The Yankees hitting walk-off home runs, the Bills scoring in overtime, Liberty stealing the spotlight with clutch plays, and Broadway delivering current calls night after night. From the crack of the bat to the swish of a net, from the roar of the crowd to the hush of a theater. The city writes stories that echoes generations fast, thrilling, unforgettable. This is New York in full performance, and the show is just getting started. Last night, the Liberty played the Mercury in Game 1 of the WNA playoffs, Round 1. The Liberty made a beautiful comeback after dropping getting 21 turnovers in the game, and literally they handed the game to the Mercury going into late to the fourth quarter. They were able to finally score in the last few seconds and be able to block a amazing block by Sabrina Nescu in the last seconds of the fourth quarter going into overtime. It was Natasha's Cloud's game. She had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. She was amazing. She was defending, she was making shots when needed, and in overtime she went on a kill. She is the reason they won in that official final 3-pointer in the last few seconds of overtime. And the Liberty won it was really a low scoring game. It was not really that high at all. It was 76-69. That was a really low scoring game. And it showed that the Liberty, of how bad they were playing, they were able to get this win and take game one and go back to New York and have the fans behind them going into a crucial game 2. If they win game 2, they go straight to the next round, and we'll see who they end up facing. But if they lost game 1 to lose, be going home at 0-1 is not the greatest thing. But for the Liberty, we've seen them. They've been able to win on the road last year, and they were able to also win at home. And that's the reason they won. Last year, against the Lynx, they won away with Sabrina's unbelievable 3-pointer in the last seconds of game 3, I believe. I think game 5. That took the Liberty literally from losing to being up and having to return home on top, which was great to see them. But the injury of Stewart, there isn't any word on if she will play in game 2. It's still pending, but her 18 points and her defense for the net and she's just been a superstar all year, and her tenure as on the Liberty as well. So game 2 will be at Barclays Center on Wednesday, and one thing is certain: the series is far from over. But the Liberty have announced that they are ready to put a show. The Yankees are firing all cylinders right now. Over their last 12 games, they're 7-5, and those are against the Astros, Tigers, Red Sox, and Toronto. They had to win those series because at this point they're 4 games back behind Toronto in the division, and they just had to show that they were in it to win it, and they could win against good teams because they haven't done well against Toronto and Red Sox all this season. The Red Sox and Toronto have swept them multiple times this season. So it was good to see the Yankees beat Toronto 2 out of 3 and beat Boston. Boston, they haven't been able to beat at all. Before the last series in New York, Boston won 8 in a row. And that's upsetting as a Yankee fan to see the Red Sox really destroy your team. As the same way about 60 plus years ago, in magical year for Bucky Dent. The Yankees did the same thing to the Boston. They won, I think it was 10 out of 12 of the last games, and it was the Boston Massacre, and they were up by 10.5 games. And the Yankees, earlier in the season, were up by 10.5 games from the Boston. But this stretch has showed that Judge is finally heating up, which is good for him. And you have young guys like Jose Caballero, who's been great since starting. He has over 300 batting average, 3 home runs, and 12 stolen bases in his short stint of just starting 12 games. And that's just been amazing. And he's been a pass on the base, and he has caused multiple errors for catchers and the Yankees to score from first to third and from second to home easily. And his defense has been great at short, while Volpe has struggled mightily, having 16 errors at short. Caballero has been able to hold down the position so much better, and he just looks so much fluent, and it makes me feel safe, happier when the ball is hit to him. They're gonna get an out. It's not gonna be another error and another issue with Volpe that he can't throw. And then you had yesterday, they didn't play great. They really didn't. Um, their pitching was horrendous. Will Warren gave up 6 runs in the first inning, and that's his issue. I don't know what it is. His He has a high road average ERA at over 5, and he's not been able to pitch well against Toronto, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers, giving up 5+ runs in all of those games. So I don't think he really makes the playoffs. As a starter, I think he might go on the bullpen role, but let's see. John Carlson is right now struggling a little bit. He's still getting his hits when he needs to, but I'm not worried about him. He's gonna turn up in October like he always does. Ben Rice is finally getting lucky. I like seeing that. He's finally getting hits down. Even against Crochet, he was able to get a double off him. And Crochet is a very hard pitcher to hit off of. He is the shoe-in for Cy Young, and I definitely think it's between Screwball and Crochet. But Crochet has had a little bit unlucky the past few games prior to this series that he has given up a few runs. But it's up to Crochet and Screwball at this point. But as the stretch of 7-5 against those playoff teams, they're all in the playoffs. Every single one of those teams are making the playoffs. But the Yankees going 7-5, it just showed that they finally are going in the right way of finding the momentum and getting key wins when they need to. And if they keep this pace, they will hopefully. I don't think the division is in play anymore because of the 4 games, and the Toronto leads the season series against them. I personally think the wild card is their first wild card is where they're going to end up. Just my opinion, and I think that works out better because so many years that we got the bye, you have Aaron Judge starting off cold. He has not been able to hit in playoffs, and these are all except for the wild card series. I believe the wild card series that we have played, Judge has not really hit well in the first round. Last year, he has done better. So I think with him heating up now, a wild card series is so much better. You get 2 days off, and they start game 1. The only thing I could say, the bye helps their pitching staff. Their bullpen has been a little bit off, so it had not been great the past 2 months. And I think that is where they want to do the reset, and I think that's where the bye really helps. But between Freed or Rodon, whoever starts game 1, either division or wildcard series, for me, it doesn't matter because they're both just been able to beat the pressure and just perform when needed. And yes, Max Fried had a tough few starts over the summer, but he's pitching so much better, and he's been able to keep the Yankees in games. And Rodon has just been an ace. He has put himself in situations that maybe earlier in the year or in years prior when he first came to New York, he would fall to the pressure, and he has. He had. And now he's able to, saying he gives up a run or so, he's able to get out of the inning without giving multiple or throwing a meatball right down the middle and causing home runs or doubles or etc. extra bases. And he's less wild to pitchers, and he just looks like he's more comfortable pitching in New York and being able to get the big outs when needed. And we seen him the other day when Aaron Boone went to him to take him out of the game. Boone let him continue, and that is something that he has earned over the past year and a half. Is that he has earned the place to be able to say to the manager, "I'm good. I don't need. I could get you the next batter." And that is a whole growth of where Carlos started off doing kisses to the fans a few years ago when he was horrible against Kansas City. And that first year of just literally no production at all. It was just horrible. He was He was horrendous. And going from last year to this year, he completely changed. And he's able to take advice from Matt Blake, and I think he fits more with having Max Fried there. And I think that helps him a lot because you have someone who's similar pitch type now because he doesn't depend just on his fastball and slider anymore. He has to depend on other pitches because players are gonna try to pinpoint what you're gonna throw. When you have two pitches only, they're gonna f- they're gonna feast on either the slider or the fastball. But now that he is more of a mix, he's able to fool hitters and able to become a better pitcher. And maybe his velocity wouldn't be as up anymore, but he is able to be not just a pitcher, he's able to be a great pitcher. And that's what I'm excited to see. And I'm excited to see them make the playoffs. I know most likely it's going to be Boston, but at the end of the day, anything could happen. And the Yankees have played Boston well the past few games. So I'm just happy most likely the Yankees are at home. That is all that I'm happy about.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Welcome back. The Buffalo Bills are making a splash going 2-0 to start off the season. Buffalo is making noise. Bills roll past it just 30-10 in week 2. James Cook was phenomenal, breaking loose for 132 yards and 2 dazzling touchdowns. Allen ran the show. He ended up rushing for 40 to get a first down. And the defense finally looked like they were making plays. And after a tough game against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the defense looked like they knew what they were doing. Bosa made a great play to cause a fumble, and Buffalo recovered it. But the game was done early on before the halftime. The Bills were winning that game hands down. The Bills were playing with defense. They were running. Allen was able to do make his own plays. He really was just running the show, and Cook has been great from coming last year, making I think had career high 16 touchdowns, and the years prior only having 3. He already has 2 this year. 3 this year, I think. And he has just been great addition to Allen because Allen could go to him on he could go to him on multiple plays. Both Cook has also been able to literally be a man for him to target as well. And it's been exciting to see Cook build as not just a young player now, as more of a veteran present for Allen to come to in big situations. Shakir hasn't really been that target this year, which I was actually shocked about. There hasn't been that many targets to Shakir, and that was his number 1 wide receiver last year. But he has been able to get Coleman, and I'm happy to see him really be able to just be that presence that they needed last year, and that he wasn't. But injuries definitely derailed him, and Kincaid has had a great season so far. And the Bills, at this point, they will win the division easily. There's no one right in the competition in their division that I think could be better than them. And they're just showing the league that they're not just in the race; they're settling the pace. And right now, next to the Ravens, I think they're the best team. The Chiefs aren't doing well. Yes, the Eagles are doing well, but I think the team to beat is either Buffalo or the Ravens. They're both right now show the best defense and offense. And when you have 2 MVP type players as your quarterback, there's chances that you could win. And we've seen that in the last week. Allen had a minute and 34 seconds left. They were down by 15. They come back and win with 34 seconds. They come back and win 41 to 40. And up until the fourth quarter, they were literally dead in the water. But I'm just excited to see where this Buffalo team takes me. And hopefully this is the year they make it Super Bowl and this is the year they win. Because it is right now, as a Bills fan, I'm excited to see where it is. But I still have in the back of my head what happened last year and happened the year before and the year before with the Chiefs. And I understand the thing of saying not again. And that's been the whole issue the past few years with the Chiefs and the Bills. The Bills were able to beat the Chiefs in the regular season, not in the playoffs. And that has been too many deja vus. That's been deja vu too many times. And I think with this defensive line looking so much better in week 2, and you seeing Bosa made a great play defensively, causing the fumble. And then the week before, it was Ed Oliver causing the fumble. And then it was Milano making amazing plays last week and this week. Their team looks so much better, and I think it was just getting off of the Ravens, and also McDermott said that they didn't have a heavy training this week. And I think having that week off of heavy training had the defense look so much better that it wasn't as much as heavyweighted, and it just looks like they knew what they were doing and they knew the plan. And the same thing with Allen. He knew the plan, and most of the game he was able to call his own plays. There was maybe a few stops and that the Jets were able to get on him, but he is one of the best in the league, and that's where I go. He really is one of the best in the league, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's back-to-back MVPs. And he is just a significant player that, as he got older, he has gotten better. Because years ago, one of the plays, I believe in the third quarter, he would have threw it for the 40-yard rush. He would have threw it maybe 2 years ago. Now he knows better not to throw it and not cause for the 50-50 chance of an interception. And he has been able to lean on his legs to get first downs. And I think that's the thing with quarterbacks today a lot more. Like Mahomes and Lamar and Allen, and so does Burrow. They use their legs a lot more today than quarterbacks prior. They're more of a play. Their plays depend on them as much as on their wide receivers, on their tight ends, on their running backs, on their offensive line. They have the ability to not just use their offensive line as protection, but as well as use it as protection to make rushes for 40 yards, which he has done multiple times. And Allen leads the Bills with rushing touchdowns. He passed O.J. Simpson last year. So it's just phenomenal of how much of a play caller is, and also as a captain for the team he is. And after game 1, in the interview, he just celebrated the kicker for making the kick, the game-winning kick. And every single interview I've seen, it's never about him. It's about the next game. It's about the team. And to have that as your backbone and your captain of the team, it just is amazing to see him put the team on his back, as well as lead the team when they're not doing well, when they're maybe struggling. He probably broke his nose, and he still came out and played. And it's just the sense of how strong he is physically to go through injuries and still come back mid-game. Here's a few ad reads. Interested in having your voice heard? Interested in hosting a show on WIUR at your email or President Robbie Basil or come by the station and we will help you get started. Welcome back. As Broadway season starts, Broadway Week is coming up. 1 for 2 tickets. You get to see as many shows as offers. All the big ones usually offer 1 for 2 tickets. Broadway Flea Market is coming up. I'm excited about that. I'm excited I get to meet a few stars that I love and I've seen perform live. But I'm just excited for the season. I'm happy to see Kristen Chano come back on her new show. And I'm just excited for the rest of the season. It's supposed to be really good this season with Kristen and Del Prada comes on. Just excited how everything works out. Thank you for listening to Broadway Bleachers and Beyond. This is your host, Leanna Butte for WIUR Radio. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
This is